The love story Once has been an unexpected hit at every turn. It was originally a low-budget film that became an international hit, winning an Oscar. Then it became a musical, selling out in the West End and on Broadway. Now it's come to Australia, and Greg Muller produced this story.
Falling slowly, eyes that know me.
And the Oscar goes to Glenn Hansard, Arpeggio Globo, Falling Slowly for Once.
This is amazing. What are we doing here? This is mad. We made this film 2 years ago. We shot it on 2 handy cams. It took us 3 weeks to make. We made it for 100 grand. We never thought we'd ever come into a room like this and be in front of you people. And I'm painted black.
I'd heard of the film. I knew it was made for very little money, and I knew it had won an Oscar for Best Song for Falling Slowly and a kind of surprise win. But I'd never seen it. Watched it a few days later and loved it, cried. Watched it again and thought, how on earth are you going to turn this into a piece of music theatre? And so therefore I was interested.
Once isn't just a musical, it's a play or a film about music and what it means to be a musician, what it means to debate giving up music, and then what it means is to rediscover music and let music heal you and make you better and take you on into the world. It's a beautiful thing that I thought only musicians really understood what that meant, but the show's had such a broad universal appeal. I guess it speaks to everybody, that notion.
So if you have something to say, you better say it now.
Guy is an Irish busker from Dublin who you meet in the show at a point in his life when he's kind of hit the end of his tether with music, and he's decided to pack it in. And this girl appears, and she takes it upon herself for whatever reason to pursue this music, and it becomes her passion, becomes his music, and then through his music this relationship is built.
Can speak and sing about what it is to be a person.
She's a Czech immigrant living in Dublin with a bunch of other Czech immigrants. She meets Guy on the street.
Walking on moonbeam.
He is busking. He's playing one of his own original songs, and she just is arrested by it, by the emotion in it. She definitely falls for Guy's music before she falls for him as a person.
Personally, I think I've got the easiest job in the show. You know, I stand and I sing some songs with guitar and I do a bit of acting, which is great, but what happens around Guy and girl is it's the illusion of simplicity. There's instruments crossing stage and changing hands, and everything moves around what's happening on the stage.
The dynamic on stage is definitely more like being in a band.
Some people have described it a bit more like going to a gig, which I think is really exciting. That sense of liveness and that sense of possibility.
3, 4. Well, I'm going to marry me.
We have string players, we have banjo players, we have mandolin, we have ukulele, we have guitar, and they're all finding their own colour and their own texture. At the end of every rehearsal, we do a jam session, and the jam session is where we play traditional Irish folk tunes and traditional Czech folk tunes. And these will be the songs that you hear at the beginning of the evening when you walk into the theatre, and you are welcome to come on stage and have a drink and hang out with the cast and listen to them make music. And it's it's a great thing. It's almost my favourite thing.
The show is like being in an Irish pub and having this story told to you through music, and you're on stage, an audience member is a part of that.
And I love her so.
You genuinely do feel so much. It's so emotional, the whole show. I guarantee that you will feel something.
That story produced by Greg Muller.